Hello and howdy. Hey, do you have it? Is it working?
Finally.
Hey everybody, welcome to UI Mondays. My name is Alyssa and I have the amazing Kathryn. Oh no.
Hello. It is good
I'm just
to
gonna
be
do
back.
this because you're you're over in one of these directions. Oh, it's just good to be back. I'm excited. I've been hacking around on a little demo app. I thought we could go over, and really the idea here is for me to get Kathryn's wisdom on how she would do things perhaps differently. Today we're going to be talking about maybe CSS best practices could be a good way of. I just really want to clarify with Kathryn, another soul in this world, that I'm doing things accurately. This is not it. This is nothing. That is an old Angular project that's just going to sit over there. Okay. Stack Blitz is actually where I've been building these.
Makes sense.
I feel like, yeah, because I want them to be bite-sized enough. I don't want people to have to do NPM installs. I think this is the right way.
This way.
But Stack Blitz
That lets everyone get to it quickly.
It's a little weird with, like, for instance, in an Angular project, when you have your root of the project, this file in Stack Blitz is empty because I guess it's like doing it for you. So and like bootstrapping things is a little bit different. Like when you're including Tailwind or so I'm like kind of going back and forth, and I think I'm going to show the whole process of like, here's it outside in a normal environment, but then also just in case the network's not good or somebody doesn't have their environment set up, have it here. So, so custom properties. Yes, you. So I wanted to teach layout.
I'm gonna need you to zoom way in on that.
Okay, let me make it, and then let me get like a little bigger, big. Good, happy. Hey everybody, welcome to UI Mondays. I saw our numbers jumped up. If we had a raid, let us know where you're coming from. If not, if you're all just joining us, welcome. I'm so excited to be here today with Kathryn. We're just talking about some CSS stuff. Apparently, I broke things in such a horrible way. It's not even rendering. So hang on. It was we were you ever do like faux code and then like forget to
totally forget. Yeah.
Get rid of it? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So we are going, essentially what we're doing is I have a generate random color method, and I don't know. I'm sure there's cleaner ways. I found some different people doing different maths, and I was like, I really just need a random hex. I really don't care. For instance, if certain hexes aren't available to me, like if it's truly random, like I don't. So anyways, so what we're doing is generating a random number, and then I have an assign random color. This probably could, not exist. I could just call this from the constructor, but I'm calling it on init, and then if I go to my CSS, this is where the fun is. I like to talk about the differences between custom properties and Sass variables, and this is one of the things I want to show off of, like, the persistence of that variable so that you can grab it later and do things with it. And so these balls here, because I don't know why balls. I was like, they're supposed to be getting colored. I will fix that problem in 1 second. But yeah, when I was like, oh yeah, layout. I want to teach layout, and if my instance was like, oh, I need a lot of balls. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, and then I'm gonna like have them put them in the proper place, and then I'm like, this is silly. Like, I should probably just have cards or like a real UI element, but. But yes, here are my. Okay, first question. Should I put this on root? Because I was also in like the. I'm like deep in the mire.
Where else would you consider putting it? Because root feels like the right instinct to me.
Let's back up by 2 questions.
Okay.
I have this app component, right? And I'm using, is this a faux pas? I know you don't do Angular anymore, but maybe
I don't.
Like, can I just hijack the body and not actually have a real selector? And then I'm just,
Yeah. I mean, I would say in this situation, it's probably fine. Normally you wouldn't want to do that, right? Because you would.
Yeah. Well, because usually it's like something like, this or something, right? And then you've got that. But then I was just like, that is giving me a needless wrapper that I'm trying to get around with my CSS. Because I was like, okay, now instead of body, I need to go ahead and call the host.
Right, like body top, whatever.
But then we get into view encapsulation, and does my, does the host element selector exist, or do I need to give it one, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like a whole. Right. So, but I wonder why. Anyways, so root is like the normal thing. Like if I don't put it here, will people riot in the streets? Like, I don't want to like teach people bad things.
I don't. That's always how I've done it. So I don't know. Okay. I've always put them in root. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not willing to say like flat out like no, because I'm not sure where else. Like where do you want to put them?
Right. Well, because I think what I had before was just kind of like gotten rid of that, and then I was just like, because it whoops, like that. Or what I was actually doing was more Angular-y, and I was talking to host, and that was before I had turned off view encapsulation, which of course I have it turned off now, so that selector won't work. But then like this just looks cluttered to me. Like I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna stick with root unless you.
No, I would agree. I'm like looking now.
Oh yeah, for like definitive answers, because that would be great. I'm just not posturing and just like actually no.
I just always learned put them in root, and I never questioned it. And now that you were like, why put them in root? And I was like, I don't, because that's where I was told to put them. I don't know.
So while you're looking that up, I want to fix the balls, because the balls, for everyone who's just joined us, they need to be, essentially I've got this new color variable, and it is being assigned to class of ball, and it's the background color, but it should be overridden. We shouldn't see a light purple. Did you find the answer? Do you know?
I am. I'm gonna see if I can hijack the screen sharing
to show you the answer. I'm gonna make this bigger. Also, if you're in chat and you have like thoughts on root, let us know. What's the answer? Tell us.
You don't have to. It is just a way of setting properties as high up as they can go. So it's like when you set your Z index to like 9,999, you're just like making super sure that nothing else will overwrite it.
Can you tell us what you Googled to find that? Because you found that really fast. What was your exact tippity typing? Custom properties root. Wow. Root. Okay, here we go. Actions has no.
Yeah, it just like came down. This one looked like it had the best thing, so I just like did a search for root.
Oh, and then you found root. Okay. So and then it was literally the second sentence. Okay.
There is no compelling reason. So if you like it like that, it's totally fine. Yeah. See, this person agrees with you. Find it more normal feeling to apply them HTML.
Yeah, that's where I was at. But I'm like, I don't want to hurt people's brains.
So you could also set them lower, right? Like you get into like CSS cascadey things there, but like there's no reason they have to be like global variables, Okay. We just tend to make them that way. So okay.
Let me ponder my life, because there's a couple of things. I wanted to talk about. So let's figure out, go back over here. I am selecting body for this. If someone's in the chat and you're like, that is a big no-no in Angular, do tell, because that's what I'm doing in this exact example. It felt like a cleaner way of doing it, but maybe not. Okay, so we're generating a random color, and then I'm doing this on a knit, but I don't know. Let's see if I'm actually calling it. Did I break it? Let this. So let's just call this method. Let value equal this. Yeah, because I don't think I actually need assign random color right now. So I'm going to call this dot generate random color. And is it going to refresh on its own? Do I refresh? No, it's still very angry at me. Okay, what did I do wrong?
I also found an answer for setting body as the selector. Because I was so curious.
Tell me.
I was looking up using body. So evidently, the web component specifications do say use custom elements or custom attributes. So it's not in like a technical way fully supported, but it will work. The official Angular style guide suggests to use custom prefixes for your components, like my component.
Right.
And if you're using a linter, like TS lint or something, it'll throw a warning if you use body. So there's that. And evidently, if inside the selector, inside the body, there are some elements that'll be hidden for Angular. Maybe you want to put scripts inside the body or another component. For example, Webpack puts scripts in the bottom of the body. So other stuff might add scripts as well to the body if you're using like third-party stuff, and that might mess with your ish.
Let me see. I'm going to go and change this from body to Rudy Root and see if we still have success. And then I also, I think we're fine because I changed it to AppRoot. So I think we're fine. I feel like really stupid. I don't know why
Why?
Well, because I had it working and I'm like, what did I break? So, and I'm really bad at debugging live. So let's read through this together. Okay. So we've got my generate random color. And then I'm calling it on a init. Maybe I'm calling it too soon. I don't remember. Okay. Let's try. Do I need to put it in the constructor?
God, I remember so little about Angular architecture.
Hang on, let me go see real quick.
The worst person to help you with this one.
Because I think I could just... I'm wanting, essentially, the UI to know about itself first. But I think... I don't want this one. Let's check out my dashboard.
It should work for that, though, right? Because everything's been initialized. Isn't that the init? Like, it's...
Oh, here's what we can do. We can just like keep working within it and then see if it's actually, calling things. Right. And then if we're getting the right console.log.
Oh, true.
Oh, I should put it before the return. Herk-a-dirk.
Yeah. It was working. What did I do?
I know.
Too real.
Help. And that one. And then how do I see logs here? Just do the same thing I always do. Oh, I do?
Yeah, see there's at the bottom of your
oh yes
thing, there's a console. Thank you. I'm glad you did. I was like pointing at the screen, which was offering you nothing. That's what did come through.
It did. It is. Okay, so it is being called. I'm returning the... Oh, so I'm not actually assigning it, though. I'm such a dummy. So I was doing this fake code here with Turtle Guy. Or he was trying to show me how he would do it. We'll get to that in a second. But I need to still assign the color. Boop, boop, boop. So I think it's this line that I need to not comment out. So we're going to get rid of the fake codes. And I think you're fake. Yes. And then instead of get random, we're going to call assign. What's it being said? Did you highlight a thing or was that this rendering? Oh yeah, that was the other issue with AppRoot. It was like galling me because of the, the border. Okay. One thing at a time. We have purple balls. I have got to fix this. I have to fix this example. I don't know. I thought I would impress them with my round UI elements. What is wrong with me?
I guess it's better than having blue balls.
If we refresh long enough, we'll get there. Oh, there we go. Okay. So good. Okay, we are. Here's what's coming. Generator's not working. Oh, sorry. I'm getting random text messages from my father-in-law and reading them live. I don't know what's wrong with me. So we are generating a random color and we are assigning it with, this was the other thing I was going to ask you. My husband was like, that feels like old school and wrong. And I was like, I don't. Document element, style, set property. And then I'm calling the variable from our style sheet. Is this wrong?
Yeah.
It is wrong. What would you do?
I don't know that it's wrong. Just that I feel like anytime you're calling like a document dot whatever in like a modern app, that feels like a bit of a like code smell to me.
Does it?
Does
it? Because I'm like, document exists. I want to touch it. Touch.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I mean, and I might be wrong because I feel like my gut reaction is like, because I feel like normally when I'm calling like document dot whatever, I'm doing a like document like get element by ID, and there's definitely better ways to do that. So what did
CSS
you have?
custom property Angular app? Like maybe there's a API built in that I'm not using.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh my God. Is this on our blog? This is on our blog. Manipulating CSS. No. I love it. It's like one of ours. Okay. How do I was just gonna like scroll till I see code. Template.
Yeah. It's just hard because there is such a strict separation between CSS and everything else. It's hard to get them to talk to each other. And so any way you do it feels like a little bit hacky. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what the right way is.
Style, background.
CSS. So what is it actually? It's updating a class.
It's just updating the custom property.
Okay.
Not that one.
Oh, so there's like an inline style somewhere, and it's
well, it's this guy en route, and then he's updating the background on the balls.
Okay. So how is it? Hold on. go back to the
what?
How is it getting into the CSS? How is
it's just this document dot. It's just this.
I see.
Set property. It's very basic. Yeah. Grab your vanilla lattes, darling.
No. That makes sense.
But let me see. I want to see if there's actually like a angular way to do this. Let's see. I mean, that's not what I want. This is not where I want to be in my life. I don't want to get funky with attributes. I don't recommend new color.
I just went and looked up someone else who's doing it in React. Any color other than blue. But yeah, no, someone else is doing the same thing.
They're the same way?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean... Okay.
So.
And I don't really need to get, because there's all this like get color, and I don't really care what color it is right now. So the other thing I really want to talk about, and maybe I think you're all going to be like, just make an array. I wanted different colors for each one. And so then I was like, okay, but I don't want to like have this array that I manage and like splice and stuff. Like, I really hate messing with arrays like that. So I was just like, do I do it with the UI where I'm like, I mean, at some point there's going to be an array, but I don't want to manage it. So I was thinking like in the UI, I could have like a for loop and like loop through like for ball of balls and then like print it. And then I was thinking like, and this is maybe going to be
like, my gut feeling is that sounds like mapping.
It does? Wait, what? Oh, mapping. Right. I
think I would map over him. Gosh, I am disgusting. But yeah, I'm just like all the time. I'm gonna put a cough drop in my face.
Okay. In your face. I love that. Okay, let me show you all what I was thinking, and you can tell me if it's no, I don't need that one. And I think we can close. Yeah. I was thinking.
Yeah. I think I would. My gut feeling, having looked at this for 2 seconds, is that I would write a function that maps over like however many numbers of times that you want the ball or whatever. And that way you could create
because I was thinking
every time it would run the function, it would assign, you could have it assign new like,
because I was just thinking kind of this colors. I was thinking this kind of the same way, but more badly, because I would do the logic in my markup. So I was just gonna be like hang on, let me show you. Like div oh my gosh, Alyssa, you've got it. I was like, what should I call this wrapper for my okay. I can't even right now. We gotta fix this immediately. Hang on. I know. I thought it was perfect because I really thought I was gonna like show off with like, look at these pretty spherical UI elements. They're gorgeous. Okay, I will make them squares right now. Hang on. Class for I don't know. And then we are going to say I know what we'll do. Let just a random let. Okay. I think I need an asterisk too. Let square of squares. We'll call them cards since that's like an actual
Code,
UI
which Sean points out, we could have avoided all of this if we'd called them circles. No.
Wait, so you should 14. I keep them? Should I keep them the way they are? And then, hang on. Hold on.
I liked your balls just how they were.
I feel like I really was just being like, I was just coming up with an example. I did not intend for it to be goofy. Okay. Yes, we can call them circles, I suppose, but I'm going to call them cards. And my cards are spherical in nature. It's totally fine. Okay. So where's my HTML? Boop, boop, boop. So I need this is the part I always get carbunkled on because I'm like, is this the thing? Because the thing that I'm looping on is the actual element that is being generated. So I need to actually, right? Like, so I have to have, this is card, and then which will just be a div with a class of card, right? I thought so. And then I think outside of it needs to be the wrapper, I think. Hang on, let's test this theory. Card wrapper. And then you go
This is another one of those where my lack of Angular is showing because I'm like, oh yeah, NG4. I forgot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this too. Right? Hang on. I know. You all are like, really? I'm pretty sure I have to have the asterisk. NG4 Angular. And then I need to have an amount, a number of
Right. It has to be like based on something to tell it how many times to for. So what did asterisks do? What is the point of the asterisks in Angular? What are they?
It's right. I was like, what is she saying? I was still reading that text message. I'm gonna like go ahead and put on do not disturb. So I'm still it's too much. I don't usually get texts this time of day, so it's my family's chatting it up. Yes. So it is just the way, let me go ahead and scroll all the way up, of denoting that this is a directive that's going to be changing something. Like it's one of these. I think these, I don't know if there's other, like, I know I use them often for looping, and that's what the whole structural directive, because it's changing something that's being rendered in some way. ng if has it too. So like if you have an if statement of like, if this should be shown true or false, right? But it is just essentially a directive that you're using, but think of, activity is happening. Something's changing. It's at least my very simplified version of understanding that. This, what was I doing? Go back to you. So I want to loop, and then I also don't know. I have in. Do I need of? I always get those backwards. I think I need of. And then we're going to go back here and have a guy called, I don't remember what I called it. I think it was cards. Do I need an actual array? I think so.
Yeah.
Right?
Because otherwise there's nothing in there for it to loop over, right?
Will that work? Watch as I hackily put this together. Why are you angry? Private? What do you want? What do you want with me? I will get rid of it and say cards. There, of course it's happy. And there are 3. Waha! I am successful at all my endeavors. Okay. So we are looping. We have our cards. I can lower, like if that's really hurting someone's soul, the radius on this. Just, really sell it. Look at those cards, right? Like, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I like your circles. But now I want a random color. So what I was thinking, and maybe this is the dumbest thing ever, if I call the method from the DOM, like here, like I know it's gonna be, I can't think of it, the syntax. It's like, what was it? Get random, assign random. Hold on one second. This one. I want to call you, but from you, and be like boo, 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 right? See what I'm saying? But then, because there was a lot of things where you can assign it like inline, so I can be like style, and then like, but I don't really do that. I just want to call it, which I'm like, I don't know, maybe
this is my perennial like fight with Angular, right? Is that it doesn't let you just call.
Hang on,
It doesn't
does
let
it
you just
not?
write JavaScript in the DOM. It's not as easy as it should be. That's my feeling. It's like if I'm writing the HTML, I want to be able to just like, wow, splash a little JavaScript in there.
Yeah,
Call some stuff.
Yeah,
Do
I mean,
some
like,
things.
is it
And
hacky?
Angular is
I don't know.
so-
Just do it, right? Like,
right. Angular is just so picky about how it lets you do that.
Scope. Oh my God. Do you remember Scope? Do you remember
Ooh.
Scope?
No.
No, you weren't around for like pre-V2.
No. See,
I know this is
the
a
thing
way.
about me is that
This
I
is
wrote
the way that I
Angular
was trying to
for
avoid. What?
a
Tell me.
single year.
Oh, listen, I know you loved it. I know you miss it. We will have you back. Let's see if this will work, and then we can try to find a cleaner way. Okay, well, it is working, but it's not working how I expected it to. Hang on, we have to think through our logic knots in the brain, because we're like,
right.
it's got to be because of the way I'm doing this, right? So I need to, I don't know. I thought this would work.
Right, well, because it's still, I'm sorry, you thought it would update, like that each block would be a different color. Is that
yeah, but maybe it's
confusion?
because I'm not putting the variable.
But you're updating a global variable in your CSS.
Right.
So it's not
should I make
different every time.
Should I make the variable smaller, like lower down, like on the card itself?
I mean,
would that work? Wait, why
so,
are you wincing at me? I can only hear the wince. I can't actually see the wince.
I'm not wincing. I'm thinking. In my thinking and my wincing faces, they're just the same. Because I'm in pain either way. No, my gut feeling is that like I know you're writing this demo to like show off CSS properties, but this actually doesn't feel like
a CSS property is needed.
Right. Well, because the property rate. The idea is that like if it was a variable, right?
Oh my God, you're saying just set the background color in the.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
Because like. Well, because, okay, just like thinking through from like a code perspective, right? The idea of a variable is that you run a reference the same like thing over and over again, right? In multiple different places. But if you're not referencing the same thing from multiple different places, then you're just creating a singular value, right?
Yes. What did I do wrong in my syntax? Oh God. Style.
Because assign random color is still updating the CSS, right?
Yes, it is. So I just need it to return, which
you just need it to return a value, the hex
random
color.
I think get random color will just return the value. For lit, is that not what it's called? Get random generate. Okay, I'm like, why am I doing this? Hey, oh, it's because I made it private, maybe?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Thought I was. Oh my God! Okay, hang on. Yes, so of course that works. That totally makes sense. But also, I really love custom properties, and I wanted to make it a variable, but you're saying it isn't needed here. Can you tell me at which a time would exist, possibly, hypothetically, that one would need a variable, a custom property that you override with JavaScript? Like what? Like dark mode, I guess. Like just.
Yeah. So in my thinking would be, if you're assigning a hex color to a CSS variable, it's because you want to use that same color in a bunch of different places, right?
Yes.
So
yes. And since I only want this one time for one card, you're saying it doesn't need to persist. It doesn't need to be variable. You're not using it anywhere else.
Right. Because otherwise you're trying to like overwrite something that is intentionally created to be the same every time something new points at it. So I think like the light dark mode thing makes a lot of sense. I think like theming, right? So like when you switch themes in general, if you were like going from, whatever, pink to blue or red or something, you could just update and then you could see everything update. You could maybe create like a bunch of variables in your theme and then have those randomly apply to like various squares. So you're not like completely generating something random every time. You're choosing from like a preset color palette.
So the weird thing though is that it's like in that scenario, like where I'm creating this color palette and then choosing from it, it still would be, because essentially it'd be like a list of variables. Like if we can go back to my CSS, it'd be like this list of variables, right? And then I hijack each one of those and make it a random color. And then I use those throughout, like on buttons and different properties. That kind of thing is what you're talking about? Or no?
Yeah, I think in general, I'm like thinking, because my gut feeling is that like you wouldn't want to update a CSS property most of the time. But like if I'm trying to think of like a real like use case and not just like we could do it because it's a demo and it's fun to like make code do things.
You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, if I was creating like I might have like a set of variables for like dark theme or light theme or whatever. And then maybe I would update like primary color, secondary color. But I would just reassign based on existing like variables.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it does. I think I might have to tackle. I know it's kind of weird because like when you're building out examples like this to teach one thing, it helps if you have like a bird's eye view of like where you're going, so that it's like you have that aha moment and things piece together and they make sense why you're doing things. Like it's not just random to teach you this one lesson. And so I think the direction I need to go in, just because there's so many other things I want to teach, is the light dark mode. I think that needs to be okay. So we are building out the light dark mode for this website, and then like kind of like teach layout within that, or teach themes, or like
I think that's
variables.
a really practical example.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something people will use. So you feel like you built something, even if you're not gonna like use the thing that you built in that like whatever workshop, you have that knowledge that's very practical. So.
But does Alyssa ever know where she's going? Never. Oh my gosh. So you were talking about Tel Aviv and like how you like random story time. You were talking about how you loved it. It was beautiful. I think one of the right before COVID and like the official like no traveling happened, I went to Poland with some friends, and one of my friends, Shai, he's an Israeli. He's actually going to be emceeing NGConf with me this year. And he didn't have, I was lucky enough to be able to get the data plan that was international. And so it was just $10 a day for all of my
We did the same. Yeah. It was so handy. Yeah.
It was so handy. And so I was tethering so that he could have access to, phone, mobile device. But it was so funny because we were going through this like really cute market in this downtown area, and they had all these amazing like handmade crafts for sale and stuff, and very, very distractible. I also have zero fear, like zero fear. It doesn't exist in me. And so when I'm like, my mom, she made the comment, she's like, I could never do, she was talking to my sister and she didn't know I could hear, I could never do what Alyssa does. She just goes and does and sees. And I'm like, so I was just wandering, and Shai was getting so mad at me because I would see something I wanted to see or go down an alley, and like he just all of a sudden wouldn't have signal on his phone. And he's like, no. You don't even care. You don't even stay with the group. You don't even look. And I'm like, what? I'm living life. There's something, I'm going to something, right? Like it was funny. But that's that was with code with Sean's comment. No, never in code or life know where I'm going. I want to go work on, I'd love to go to Israel. I know. Are there any like tips, like hit up this place, or this is the guide, or any kind of things like that?
I don't know that I was there long enough, because it was mostly like a work trip. Like we got in and we had like a day. I took my sister with me, which was a blast. Yeah. But like we got in and had like a day where we mostly just like napped and recovered from, because the flight is miserable. Just like no two ways about it.
Did you sleep at all? Like
some on the way there, it was a little hit or miss. But like it took us about, because we had to like get connections and whatever, neither of us were like right near a major like international airport that could fly us direct. So it was almost 24 hours of travel by the time you like connect to
and that's not flight. Yeah, that's not like, oh, and then we stop for an 8-hour nap. Like that's just
no, that's like we're just going and whatever. So we like got in and like slept for a full day and then did the conference, and then we only had like really 2.5 days to like sightsee around Tel Aviv, which was fun.
Was it warm, cold? What was the?
Yeah, so warm. Yep,
warm. Okay.
Yeah, no, like middle of summer was super gorgeous out. We spent a bunch of time on the beach because our hotel was like right next to the beach.
Was it rocky or sandy or?
Sandy. Yeah, sandy? No, it's like a Mediterranean beach.
Oh my god!
I'll have to show some pictures at some point.
Yes, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've got like 15 minutes left. I wanted to talk about layout and like the goal, because here's the hard part. Like I'm like, this is how I would do it, but I'm trying to like back away from that and just be like, okay, so obviously rows, columns, like being flexible, having responsive, that's one layout. But then there's also like, I don't know. I was thinking of even pulling up examples of like really popular sites and being like, see these like, and like almost like mocking out, like taking a screenshot of it and like mocking it out and being like, these are the key elements. See how they are laid out. Here's how to achieve said, you know, full bar width at the top, or, you know, these two things side by side, but evenly taking up, you know, space. Like, because it's so weird. It's like teaching UI concepts alongside also how to do those concepts. So that's where I'm like,
yeah, because there's like a little bit of like the design piece that you have to do first, right? In terms of being like,
yes,
the ability to like look at a page and kind of deconstruct it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna make a note of that because I want to have some deconstruction time to actually talk about that, because I feel like I can't assume that everyone is walking in with this certain amount of like level playing field on styling and understanding design and
I don't think you can.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I would I feel like I would maybe start by like doing a really high level like grid structure kind of lesson.
Yeah.
And talking about the grid. Even like you can talk about CSS grid a little bit, but just the grid as a design concept.
Yes.
Right. And like,
so, and I think I also will like pepper it in versus being like, this is the design concepts portion. I think it'll just be every time we talk about something new and I teach something new, it'll be at the beginning of that. We're going to cover the design concepts. And then that way I'm not assuming, because I feel like there's so many times we like take for granted, I think, our knowledge or like our base knowledge. And there's somebody, actually, was it you, Code with Sean? Somebody the other day on JavaScript Girl was like, I took for granted because I was learning access modifiers, so like private, protected, things like that in C#. And they were like, I took for granted like how much base knowledge there is just to even get started, just to write one line of code. And I'm like, yeah, there's quite a bit of assuming there. And so I think we can take for granted when we're up on stage or we're making videos or things, like what people don't know, because there's so many times I brush over styles and then someone will come up to me afterwards and be like, can you walk me through that slower? And I'm like, dang it.
Right. Well, it's amazing how quickly we forget what was really hard for us when we started. Like, I remember the feeling of being really overwhelmed. But like, if you asked me what parts of React I really struggled with, like whatever, 6 years ago, like I don't know that I could tell you like this concept, that concept. I just remember feeling like, wow, this feels like a lot coming from like non-application JavaScript. Like,
I'm right there with you. I best heard it said once that the best teacher is one that's 2 steps in front of you. So like that they, you know,
they remember enough about what it was like, but also know just enough about what they're trying to teach. Yes.
Get you for it. Yeah. Oh God. Well, I think, let's see. Do we want to, I'm like, do we want to work on some layout stuff? Do we want to work on some Tailwind stuff? Do we want to?
Yeah, up to you. Whatever you want to do. I'm just I'm on the support team.
For the ride. Awesome. I'm gonna make this. Actually, I know we're like screen. I'll stop it. I'm going to change the song out. Maybe we'll go lo-fi. I don't know. We can. Right, and then go over here and share that. Okay, so I'm gonna take this guy and fork. Boo, boo, boo. And I'm gonna call this layouts are cool. And then that's gonna be filled out later. Okay, so I'm thinking, hey Zach, what was that card website that you were using the other day? It was like dot something, not dot. What was it? .cards.net. Thank you. I thought this one had some fun like fun UI bits. I know it seems basic, but like you've got your top bar guy, you've got these kind of like really just column row bits, but let's see what happens on when we smaller bits it. Yeah, it goes into single column, I think. And then, but you still have the top. Okay, so I think this is kind of what I'm going to use as like inspiration of like, hey, let's take these UI elements, let's mock it up. But let's go in here. I'm gonna just put it up here. Let's mock out these elements. That's not how you comment, is it? It's like that. that was funny. I'm like, that is not it. Okay. Cool. So I'm thinking top bar. I don't know how you do this. It'd be interesting to know, but I'm thinking we go banner. What is it called? Nav. Banner, nav. Or is it called nav, or is it like a header? What are your thoughts here? It's so basic stuff, but
I don't know.
Okay,
Header?
I'm gonna. Well, because I know the nav, I feel like is the smaller item in the header, so I'm feeling like header.
Yeah,
on him.
I feel like header.
And then main content, which is going to be a column, but also has rows inside of it that all shift to. Oh, we go quite a ways. Okay. Oh, is there a footer? Yes, kind of. It's just that little bit blip it, and then this guy here, which is really cute. Okay. So we're gonna go here and inside up here. Boop boop. Oh, this is the other thing. The header though, is that usually here or not really? Because it's all inside of body, so it doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't have to be in this file. That wouldn't make.
I'm not sure. Ask the question again.
I'm talking about the header. I'm thinking I don't necessarily need to put the header in this index file, right? Like I can just put it all inside of app component and we can be a happy family. Maybe. I mean, we can always move it later.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of those things like it won't matter in this case, right? Because I mean, the real question would be like, does the header persist throughout your entire application or whatever? In which case it shouldn't be in a component specific thing, but like,
yep.
Shrug, so, for now.
Yeah. No, I think that could even be something that we move out later and walk through, like, how does our CSS change based on that when you're pulling out something. Okay. Banner is not found. Yes, I know. Maybe I'm like, I think I'm going to go ahead and, because at least I personally would make these real, like, elements or real components that are called banner, and then it pulls in your banner. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's overkill. And so for at least this today, because I just want to get it showing, because we've got like 10 minutes or less. So I'm going to get something mocked up with divs. But yes, I would build those out. And then we had a banner header. We had our main content, which do you have personal opinions, Kathryn, on main versus section?
I mean, personal opinions that I think they just describe different things.
Well, I just, sorry, as far as like
I'm pulling Alyssa in that I'm getting messages and also not processing.
Yeah, well, because for like this content, I think I'm gonna go with main, because this is like the main content. And then inside of it, if I wanted to individualize the rows, I guess I could call those each sections. But that's where I would go with it. Would you not even use main? Would you just call it one big section?
I'm trying to think what you would even. I think I would probably do like the opposite, and I would put all of it under main and not have any like subsections.
Sections. Okay.
Right, because like I see those as like getting smaller, right? So like you have main, and then you have like a section or an article or whatever, and then you have like images and text and stuff inside of those. So if you just have a main and there's not like separate sections, then I would say no.
Okay. Main, go into here, and then I'm gonna say boop boop. I need, I think, rows. So what we're gonna do is say That's really hard to get used to. When I say div tab, it doesn't autocomplete for me. So I'm like over here typing slashes like a goob. Divs. And then I'm going to call this, actually, let's do this just for now. And then we can always change it. And then on sections, they also have paragraphs and images next to them. Whee! Boop, 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 boop. And I'm going to steal that. And this was actually like a sub, which I'm going to use H1 here, and maybe Kathryn can tell us if that's horrible, because I know it's the hierarchy's reset and this is like the highest header in this content, but I never know if that's the right choice still in my head, in my heart, in my head, in my heart. Okay, good. We also have, I'm thinking this chunk and this chunk are, yes, they are going to be wrapped. So boop, boop, boop. For this very basic example, I'm going to call this actually, these could be cards. Let's go ahead and make them cards. Card. And each, like the two different types of cards are styled differently, and like they don't have the garish backgrounds that we have. But I think for like talking about UI, it's going to be really helpful. Let's see, to see them. So I've got card. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and comment out, because this was just like auto generating, which we can use in a second. But essentially I want this to be a card and this to be a card. And they're two different types of cards. Really, like, is this an image? Yeah, he's just an image, but it doesn't have to be an image. It could be any type of content. And the way that I want the card to behave and the way that I want it to like flow on the page, I think makes sense to name it a card. But we're going to do the random garish colors in order to see them and lay them out, and then we can make them pretty. So demonstrate powers, blah, blah, blah. I think I can get like, these can go up in the, I mean, rightfully they would go up in the header along with the nav that we would build out. So I need to have that's weird, the tabbing on that one. So I guess if it's like a real DOM element, it will tab for you. But if it's like a made up one, Stacklets won't tab it for you. Interesting. Build me out. Thank you. Okay. Why is everything so jangled though? That's the part that I'm a little, why? Why isn't it stacking? What did I do? We're going to go here and we're going to comment out everything. And we're just going to see, did that even work? It did not. Just like cut it. Just get rid of it. Okay, there we go. We've got yes. I don't know. I'm not really sure what was, but I have this already in the other Stacklets. So I'm just going to pull over what we need. And we're almost at the top of the hour, but I did want to talk about, I think I would really like to talk about like full widthy bits with Kathryn before we sign off for the day. So I'm going to say you're a banner, give everybody some content here so that you're a header, and let's make them H1s. So yeah, as far as like header and footer, Kathryn, do you have like an example of like one that you've built on Stacklets or something before that you're like, yep, this is what I always reach for. This is what I do for making something full width and either stuck up to the top or to the bottom. Top, of course, is.
Ooh, I don't know that I have like an example, but I will usually use VH properties and sticky to combine in CSS.
You're talking about VH properties, which I am fully aware of, but sticky not so much. Yeah. Let me go and show you. So like she's talking about, we're going to give banner, we're going to talk to him, and because he needs to be full width and at the top. So we're going to say background so you can see him.
So you can use position sticky to like stick things. And I will use that.
Padding. I really have always avoided positioning, but you just seem to embrace it. Oh, it's the body. I'm like, why? Why though? I'm pretty sure it's the body giving us that. So let's go ahead and talk to, and I don't know if we're going to have access to talk to her fully. Inspect with the right clicky click. Okay, really? Why are you being like this? That. So the H1 has margin still? I think orange is margin, right? Who are you and why? Yeah, this margin is definitely here, but what are you on? The H1? Oh, it's because banner is different than H1. I'm a goof. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that from the body and from all headers. Well, all H1 headers. And then there's not a way to like say, I think there's actually a hacky way, right? Like you can say if it includes an H in it, but then that would do other things that you don't want it to do. I guess you could say if it starts with an H, also could, never mind. These are bad. These are bad.
Yes, but also no.
Okay, gray is killing me. Maybe cream, but then you might even not be able to see it. I need a pretty color. Sure, you're an orange. Okay, so he's at the top, and he's great. He's beautiful, right? Let's go ahead and talk to footer as well, and give him the same treatment. And footer doesn't actually have any content right now, so I think that's why we're not seeing anything. So we're gonna not put our hex code there. We're going to put an H1 inside of it that says footer. And then Kathryn is saying that she likes to use sticky. I'm really excited to try this because usually, why are you not listening? Oh, it's because it's not class of footer. It is an element of footer. Okay, good. Perfect. So what you're saying is that you would then go, hi footer, it's nice to meet you. Be position sticky.
Yeah, position sticky. And then like, then do like bottom 0. And then
don't we need to give like somebody to listen to absolute the body? No,
maybe
not.
I'm trying to remember.
Positioning. I know position. Hang on, we're gonna hack through it together. Absolute, and if it like plumps down real quick, or is it absolute or relative that you have to give to the parent?
Relative.
It's relative. Okay, so I gave it relative, and then position sticky is not making it suck to the bottom.
No, it's not. Hold on.
Is it because I need like width or anything set? It's just where a footer is at.
I feel like the parent needs like full height because I think it's sticking to the bottom of the parent.
You think the parent needs a height, which is
I think the parent
body
needs like 100 VH.
Height 100 VH. Wait, did I spell height right?
Not.
Yes. View height. How about we say like 100%? Actually, let's give him a color so we can see him. Background color, not color. I'm coming. Background color of gray. Okay, so he is, and then did the 100 work for view height? Did that actually? It's still going to the
looks like it
bottom.
did, right? Because it goes all the way to the bottom. So
it definitely
what's
is.
happening with my
absolute? Okay, so this is what I expected, and then you have to have. So if we do position absolute, he sucks to the bottom, and then the width has to be 100 view width. I don't know. What would you do view width, or would you do 100%? I always do 100%, but I mean, I don't.
Oh, that seemed to work. So
the positioning absolute worked. I've never used position sticky, but I want to look into it now because I've never used it. I don't know. I've only used absolute and relative. But we have a banner who's at the top, who I don't know if I need to be more specific. Positioning things at the top has never been a problem, as long as nobody messes with your markup. Which is that's not a safe assumption, is it?
Napalm thought we'd just given up on streaming. was used to all the reruns.
Oh, sorry.
We're on.
No, sorry. We have
busy.
we've been traveling, we've been ill, we've had internet outages, just to name a few things going on between our two households. So
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because
ride.
I don't know why, Kathryn, but at least 3 times a day we lose internet. And we only have one provider here. And so I'm just like, Zach was like, well, maybe we need to get, what are the things? There's a thing that you can like use your cell signal and like amplify it. And he's like, maybe we should get one of those. Like,
like a hotspot.
Yeah. But I'm just like, God, like, and I
you
don't know.
Have to.
I know. But it's weird because it's like during storms or, you know, extreme cold, those kind of things I expect. But I'm like, middle of summer. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
I thought JavaScript Girl and was just decided to say the JavaScript Girl. No, man, no. I'll be on tomorrow.
That's the conclusion of that long running series is that you actually change your mind. And
I'm like, and back to Angular. No. Tomorrow is more C# basics. I actually have 3 different basics videos streams coming up, and then I've got a couple guests actually who want to come on and talk about things. I think I'll actually be on C# Fritz's channel coming up soon with one of our developers, Nelly. She's going to be helping us bring reporting tools into Clip Talk, which is C# Fritz's app that he's built and loves and is awesome. So yeah. So I have some things coming up, Napalm, don't worry. And I love C#. I think the hard part is I'm still getting better. I'm in a mentorship program right now, and I'm a mentor and this amazing woman who I'm meeting. She works at our company, and she wants to work on productivity. And I'm like, I would also like to be good at productivity. So what I love doing during these programs is like, if they want to work on something that I don't know, instead of just being like, well, I can't mentor you, I'm like, let's learn that together. So that's what we're doing during this season. So I'm trying to be more productive with the time that the good Lord has given me, but forgiveness if we haven't been on as of late. It's been really
and I skipped Dev by Design this morning because I sound like this. And I was like, I can't. I love Dev by Design. It is often just me talking for a full hour. I'm like,
sometimes I'm like, oh no, am I getting sick? My throat hurts. And then my husband's like, you were streaming for 5 hours today. Your throat hurts because you were talking. And I'm like, and for those of you who've like never streamed before, if you don't talk, then it's just like dead silence. And then it's like you have to keep the conversation going, even if you're doing it solo. So it's funky.
That was like, I mean, you were like, do we want to go on? And I was like, if you do the talking and I'll just sit here and like jump in every now and again. But the thought of just going for like 60 minutes this morning, I couldn't do it. Canceled.
King of Code or COD? I'm going to go with Code. I'm stuck. I learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and coding boot camp, then learned Java in an attempt to get into an Amazon Tech Academy. It didn't work. Now it's like, do I keep doing Java or back to I don't know. I feel like it's definitely like what are you going for? Like, are you trying to be, if you're going out for a certain job and they need certain skills, then obviously you have to learn that thing. But yeah, if it's just for fun, it just really depends on why you're doing it. But I personally don't think learning HTML, CSS, or JavaScript will ever backfire on you, just because it was where I got started, and it was the foundation work that like kind of opened the door to learn other things outside of that. And there's a lot of similarities. Like, let's say you went over to .NET and you're using XAML. Like, there's a lot of similarities between that markup language and this markup language. And like, understanding those core concepts will never be a hit. Like, it's going to be something that was time well spent, I think. But also, like Kathryn said, like, what do you enjoy? What are you passionate? Yeah.
I learned a smattering. I took Java in high school. And then failed the AP exam because you had to hand code everything. But
God, yes. Your high school was so cool. I wish I had the option to learn Java.
No, that was the only like computer sciences course. It was me and like 2 other people. We mostly just slacked off through the whole thing. Like, me and my friend would watch like fashion runways and stuff in class and stuff. And then we all bombed the AP exam because you had to actually be able to write code by hand, and none of us could do it. I think I got like a 2. So,
out of a 2 out of what though? What is the 5? Okay.
Which is still bad,
but it's not as bad as like 2 out of 100. Like, right? Like, it's
true. It could be worse.
Napalm said, I have to write an abstract for a talk topic. I think I have. Any advice? I want to do it at a conference, but I'm such a noob in that scene. Oh my gosh, exciting.
That's so fun. Yeah.
No, it is. Honestly, an abstract for a talk. So if the advice you're looking for is just for writing the abstract, I'm still not golden at this because I see just really good abstracts out there and I'm like, crap. Like I oftentimes just end up like writing whatever I can come up with and shipping it because I don't have the time to refine it. But I feel like a good abstract will always have, at least this was something that our team really expected for DevReach. And in this talk, you will, or in this session, you will, like at the very end. And it's kind of corporate-y to like put it in that flow. But as long as you're covering like what someone's walking away with at the very end of your abstract, because you can be silly with the intro, you can have a story for the intro, you can just get down to brass tacks and be like bullet points, right? Like, but as long as you have that information, I think that's the biggest thing of like what someone's learning. Kathryn, do you have any advice on abstract writing in particular?
No, I think my general advice is to try and get as much personality in there as you can. But the real truth is that like I've done roughly 1,000 conferences now, it feels like, and every speaker's a little bit different, and some really are funny and stand up there and it feels like they've got like a tight 20 comedy set, and some people just get up there and riff and they do it all off the cuff and you can tell that they're just talking from the heart, and some people have memorized the whole thing and have insane slides. And like the point being of that ramble that there's no guaranteed way. There's no like this is the way to write a talk, and all good talks have XYZ. Like if the content is good and you're excited about sharing it, then I think you're already halfway there.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely. Because there's so many times where I'm like, this person does not care about this at all. And they lose the audience. Yeah,
you gotta care. You gotta be the excitement and the like. Yeah, the personality, I guess, and that's not saying like you have to be like funny or crazy or exciting. It's just like show a little bit of you. It's not like a corporate thing. So
I've given it twice already at work and it went over well. That's awesome. Next step.
That's awesome.
And I think there's lots of meetups too, and so as that's a way that I will test something out sometimes, is just to get some feedback, but it sounds like you've already gotten that initial feedback. So shoot me, this is an open invite. My DMs are always open, but Napalm specifically in this instance, shoot me your abstract or anything that you have if you want, and I can give you pointers. That's something that I'm really passionate about and I would love to help with. And then I can also maybe find an audience for you. I might know somebody looking for speakers. So yeah, shoot that my way. But this was really fun. Thank you for hopping on, Kathryn. Sorry that I made you work while you're sick.
No, it's okay. I was here. I was online. It just wasn't like online. So it's just as well.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, any other sign-offs? You good?
My one last piece of advice with your conferencing. It's a numbers game. So if you apply somewhere and you don't get in, that's not a reflection of the talk.
Not at all. Yeah.
You got to apply a whole bunch of places, and it's just going to be a mix of how many other talks they have that are vaguely similar and with the vibe they're going for, and do they have returners and like 20 million other things.
So many variables that have nothing to do with your content or you.
Right. So it's apply to conferences, but apply to conferences. Plural, because that'll give you a better feel. Because if you applied to like 15 or 20 and you're still not getting bites, then maybe there's something to reevaluate.
Yeah, but I think
with your content, that tells you nothing.
Yeah, definitely make sure you have a Sessionize account and that you
Sessionize is
it is, and it's gotten. I'm really hoping more and more conferences adopt it and use it because it makes it so easy from the speaker's perspective to find things. But
yes, that's it. That's my sign off.
Beautiful. Well, have a lovely evening or morning, depending on where you are in the world. And thanks for tuning in. Bye.